Hi, everyone. I've got a designer interview here today, and I'm very excited. A new designer friend, Allie Peterson Designs, aka Cozy Cabin, and she also has a FlossTube too, and has a lot of beautiful finishes to share today. So, without further ado, Allie, your turn. Tell us about yourself, and let's hear all the good stuff you have to say.
Hi, I'm Allie. I'm the designer for, like you said, Cozy Cabin Stitching. I live in Nebraska with my two children and my husband. I have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. So things are busy. I started a little bit on my cross stitching history. I started cross stitching. My mom taught me when I was like 8 years old. And it was kind of something I started a little bit and I was like, nah, this isn't for me. And then 2020, like I had super bad anxiety and I'm just like, I need to do something with my hands. I need to do something. And so I had inherited my grandma, who was an avid cross stitcher. I had inherited all of her like supplies and stuff. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll take them. I'll set them aside. Maybe I'll do something with them. But then like 2020, and I was like, okay, I have these supplies. I'm gonna pick it up and I'm gonna do it. And I've been hooked ever since. It's become kind of an obsession of mine.
Was it like stuff you'd want to stitch, or was it like kind of grandma stuff?
She didn't even have any patterns in there. It was just basically 2 boxes of DMC floss and like a stack of fabric from like the 80s, like just Ada fabric and different fabrics. Some of them I don't even know what they are.
What are some of the first you did? Like patterns, and how did you find them?
One of the first patterns, I'm trying to think of the first thing. The first thing I stitched, I think it was just like a little Halloween freebie that I found online. I don't even know where I found it or who the designer was or what site. At that time, I wasn't really like keeping track of any of that. So
Yeah.
I stitched it up and then I'm trying to think of from there, I think I found FlossTube. And then once I found FlossTube, I kind of got connected to designers and where to go to buy cross stitch things.
Yeah, it's funny with FlossTube. Uh, Someone I knew, or I know, who's bought my designs before, she never heard of FlossTube, and I mentioned it, and like she totally went down the rabbit hole and is like a FlossTube addict now. And I'm like, sorry, but you're welcome. You're welcome
Yeah.
slash sorry. But she loves it now. And I think it's great because you find out a lot more about other designs.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you can stitch them vicariously without stitching them, which is nice.
Yeah. And see
Um,
other people's progress on them. And
yeah, get ideas for finishing. Anyway, yeah, I think FlossTube's great. I avoided it for a long time. Not avoid. I didn't hop on the bandwagon for even watching it because I didn't realize you could stitch at the same time. I was always like, I'd rather be stitching. And then I finally figured out you could do it simultaneously. That I started. And yeah, it's great. You find like there's so many great people how they present. But I learned too to find people that I specifically like the kind of stuff they stitch. So it's kind
mm-hmm.
of more interesting to me, which is a little bit harder because some of us like a little more niche kind of things. But I found
Mm-hmm.
people I really enjoy watching and have become friends with some of them through like the design community. And anyway, it's a good time. So yeah, you have your very own floss tube.
Yeah, I just started one. That was one of my like New Year's resolutions this year was to start a floss tube, and I did.
So do you enjoy it? Has it been enjoyable?
It's been fun. I think I kind of maybe I'm a little hard on myself. I'm like, well, I need to film a video like every 2 weeks. I need to film a video like so often. And like I think it doesn't happen. Like with 2 kids, and sometimes I feel like I don't have enough progress or enough stitching to show, and it doesn't happen.
Yeah, that makes, yeah, I specifically did not put those parameters on me because I knew I mentally couldn't handle it. I did at the very beginning and I was like, no, this is no. But what are your kids doing right now? Because mine is watching Paw Patrol because that's the only way I can get a break.
Well, what one luckily is napping. He doesn't always nap, but he fell asleep today. And my other one, we gave her the iPad so I could do this. So she's on the iPad right now doing some games.
yeah, it's just like screen time. We're bad about it
Mm-hmm.
anyway because of life. Gonna be honest, because hashtag life. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Paw Patrol is life, and it has been for good 6 months now. So anyway, it's like screen time. Just
I
go
know it's so
crazy.
hard. It's so
Yeah,
hard.
yeah. So something I wanted to talk. Hey, so I do want to promote our thingy, our
Mm-hmm.
fundraiser, but I also want to promote our group because our
Yes.
group is pretty awesome. And I am going to just say the basics of how it started, but I want to hear your take on it too.
Okay.
So for any of you that hasn't discovered it yet, we started a group called the Stitchers Collective. It's specifically designers, but when we voted on a name, uh, we chose the Stitchers Collective. So it's a little misleading, but it works. It's really cool. I really like the name. I really like ones with collective. I digress. So anyway, I started it one day. Dr. Christy from Christy's Corner Designs, who also has a FlossTube, I posted in my stories, oh, my designer groups I'm in, just like, oh, they really make me feel good. I've made good friends. So Christy saw it and contacted me, and she's like, how do you get into these designer groups? And the ones I'm in are for specific projects. I'm in X Stitch the Rainbow and Starlight Stitchery box designers. And I was like, well, I can't invite her to those, but it's like, should we start one? And I hadn't been as active in other designs as discords as much because of just life stress. And they were really full, and I hadn't figured out how to like clear notifications and all this stuff. So I'd go in and I'd look at the other discords and be completely overwhelmed. But so I was like, well, let's start one. And there'll be designers from every style of design, every age, every background. And we did it. And we were thinking, oh, maybe 20 people. And then it went nuts. And we currently have almost 90. And we have an Instagram account we weren't planning on. We just we're working on a fundraiser that is already at like $8,500 and still going for like, what, 3 more weeks?
Mm-hmm.
So it has blown up. At the beginning. It was like a full-time job or part-time job. It was very stressful at the beginning. I was just thinking you start a Discord and I don't know. It turned into a job for a couple weeks, which I was not planning on, but I am thankful. I love it. I'm so happy. We're constantly sharing trade secrets, which used to be very taboo in the designer community. Sharing, collaborating, being friends was not something that happened. So I'm very proud of it. And I want to hear what Allie has to say. But Allie, you've been there from the very beginning too, right? Didn't you join almost right
Yeah.
away? And I didn't know Allie. That's another thing. Like I did not know Allie, and now we're friends. And
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I
It's
love it.
yeah, it's
So
been
yeah,
so amazing. Like I was like, I think you had like DM'd me or something like, hey, you want to join this group? Because I think you saw one of my designs or something. And I was like, and I had seen you had like done like a story like if any designers are you interested in joining the group? And I had kind of forgotten about it. And so I was like, yeah, I'll join. And I think when I first joined, there was like maybe like 12 participants. And so it was like started out really small and then it just like exploded basically.
exploded.
Yeah, which I think it's amazing because like you said, there's all different types of designers in there. And for me, like personally as a stitcher, like I stitch everything. Like I stitch a little bit, I stitch more traditional stuff, but I also kind of like maybe the more like maybe a little bit more like I don't know what the modern looking stuff like that. And so like just being able to like talk to other designers and I love it because you can be like, hey, look at this design, guys. Like, what do you think about this? Or what do you think about that? And getting their
Yes.
perspective on it. Or look at these colors. Do these colors work together? Like, or even just how to print your charts, how to like do what platform to use? Do you use Etsy? Do you use Gumroad? Do you use, any like what platforms are out there, like just even discovering new platforms to sell your designs on. It's been such a learning experience and making friends with other designers, which is amazing because I would have really had nowhere else to go before. Like I'm such a small, like I have, I don't know how many designs I have out now, but I have such a small amount of designs out. I have such a small presence on Etsy and just like being able to talk to other designers. It's been amazing.
So yeah, it started as a way to share like trade secrets and make friends, which I love. There's 3 of the girls. I don't know if they want to be revealed. Well, I say girls, it's not all girls, but
Yeah.
luckily, it is a very mixed group. Culturally, style-wise, it's very mixed and it's wonderful. But 3 of us, I don't know if you've seen, every Saturday morning they get together and play Stardew Valley. And I think
I've seen that. I need to jump on sometimes. I'm not a big gamer, but I like watching other people play games. I'm horrible at games.
and that's what it is.
And
Like
plus it's
Palms and
another thing where
Stitchery, we'll have hers up. Palms and Stitches, yeah.
yeah. Like I need to like jump on some Saturday and watch them.
And they've done it random Tuesday nights. Like I was like, there's a TV picture, and I clicked, and suddenly like 3 of them were like, "Hi, Kristen." I was like, and I'm a lot older than them. Maybe not as much as one of them, but I'm a lot older than them. So I felt like, am I the boring mom who runs the thing? But they were like, it just was really funny. And my kid was screaming in the background because it was that time. And I'm like running into my room and shutting the door because I'm like, hi, I wasn't planning on being here. But yeah, like so friends. And then Christy, I think, was like, and Dara's the other mod, World on a String by Dara, who I didn't know before either. And she is a fantastic designer, like fantastic. And she, so she's one of the mods. But I think it was Christy that's like, let's start an Instagram. So I just started an Instagram and suddenly have like a couple hundred followers. I don't know, so fast, like so fast. And I just made it on a whim. And the whole point of the Instagram is to promote everyone because everyone's amazing and deserves to be promoted. And I hope everyone's getting more followers that way, which as a designer, followers are because more followers mean more fans who will appreciate your work and stitch it. It's not a, hey, I got a big booty, follow me, like some of the accounts. This is a business thing. And so more followers are good. And I love when I see people say, oh, I discovered this person, on the account. It was so exciting. And so Dr. Christy's Corner Crafts, Creations Crafts, I don't know. We call her specifically Dr. Christy because she and I both spell her name exactly the same way. We're the same age. We both have Italian last names that start with, like, they're Italian last names that are place names that start with D. So anyway, Dr. Christy, and then I'm all Christy Pixel. So we try to sign when we answer messages on it, but Dr. Christy beautifully curates all of the posts. And then Dara and I do Instagram stories all the time. So we are hardcore promoting everyone. In fact, when I try to think of who hasn't been on here in a while, and I go and look at their, look at their things, but it's like, anyway, no
you guys
bias.
are doing amazing.
It's
you guys
just
are doing
like, amazing. What?
You guys are doing amazing.
Well, thank you. And then, so let's talk about the fundraiser, but I will say even that, like, like the designs are amazing. The price is insane, like so cheap, but also like everyone in the group is promoting it so much that I think like so much of the success is due to everyone in the group being excited and promoting it. And it's so beautiful. And I get all sappy about how much I appreciate everyone. And so anyway, do you want to go ahead and describe more about the fundraiser? Because we've got 3 more weeks going, so you can still buy it.
You can, it's still available.
Still available, 3 more weeks for Earth Day. So Allie?
Yep, it's basically a collaboration. There are 31 designs that are available. And it's, you donate to $10 minimum, or you can donate more. There's 4 different charities you can choose from. And if you donate the money, then you get access to the 31 designs, and they're 31 amazing designs. Like I still am trying to pick which one I want to start first. It's so hard. There's so many good ones. There's like, yeah, I feel like so overwhelmed because there's so many designs I want to stitch right now.
Yeah.
But I'll show you my contribution. Here's my contribution.
Oh, I love
It's
seeing it as the pillow.
I know, my pillow.
It's
I still have to,
so
I have
cute.
my seam in the back. I have to still stitch this on my little felt.
I was just
'Cause I
stuffing a pillow before this, and I'm like stuffing it in the corner. That is, I wish I thought of
No,
that
no,
next time.
I think I learned this from some FlossTube. I don't remember where they like, because I don't know how else to like stitch in my trim. Because I'm so bad like trying to hand stitch and do trim and then like on the seam it doesn't look it looks bad. So
So
then
I figured
I
out
just
how yesterday. I
did
don't know if
you?
it's the official way, but literally I show it, but it's a model for a Starlight box. So I definitely can't share that at all. Um, but I finally sewed the little pom-pom edging. Why am I forgetting what it's called? Anyway, I sewed it to one of the fabrics, and then I sewed the front and back together. So it was already secure in there.
So that
And
it
that,
wouldn't like move around and you're trying to like hold it in while you're
yeah,
trying to hand stitch
I
it.
wasn't trying to sew three pieces together at once. And it was, and I can't look, my brain, I mean, I don't think I have ADD, but it's like an ADD thing in that if I'm trying to do a project, I'm not patient enough to sit and watch and see what they're doing. I can't. And I was like, a smart person or a person that's got their crap together would be able to go, I'm going to watch a YouTube video on this. But I even accepted it yesterday because I know me. I didn't,
It's hard, yeah.
I don't, no patience. But anyway, I'm sorry. Talk about your,
No,
I told you I talked too much.
no, you're good. You're good. Here's mine. It says Mother Earth, respect and protect.
The colors. Mwah.
I know, I was totally like 70s inspired. I've been like for my design inspiration, like I keep a like I have a notebook where I glue different things in, but I also like keep a Pinterest page. I've been like really looking, there's like 70s fashion ads on there for like 70s fashions and stuff. And so that's where I kind of got my inspiration. I'm like, I want to do something with those colors. So I picked out the colors first and then I designed it.
Yes, your palette is great. And then I love that the pom-poms actually aren't the shade of yellow in particular. I love that they're brighter.
It gives it a pop. I had so much, I
Yes.
tried to find the shade that was exact, but I couldn't find anything that I liked that was the same shade or it was a little off and you can tell it was off. So I'm like, let's just do something a little that'll give it a pop.
I love that the earth is a flower. Like you just nailed it. Like yours, like I said, I love yours. I love it.
Oh, thank you. No, I had fun stitching and designing this. This is probably one of my designs that I'm like most proud of at this point. Cause I'm like, this is me. Like I'm finally finding like who I am as a designer. Like I think in the beginning you kind of, it's so hard. You start off like, okay, do I design for what I think people like, or do I just design for me? And so now I'm kind of, especially being a part of like the Stitches Collective, that's helped me discover like I need to design for me. Like, and if people like it, they like it. If not, then okay,
Yep.
you know,
Meh.
it is what it is.
Oh, and that's part of the reason it's not just for the earth, even though I'm like a naturalist and a big time gardener and everything. And I like really try to follow the pyramid of the 5 R's, you know, recycle, all of that. But anyway, like I was just trying to think at the beginning, how do I get all of these people known? You know, because a lot of us are newer. And I was like, well, how did I help get myself known was through fundraisers with another group. I'm blanking on what we call it, but it's through, with Night Spirit Studio and Witchy Stitcher and Witches Garden Crafts. So it was always like, these dudes are all goth, not dudes, but these guys are all, you know, like I have my inner goth, but I don't design goth style stuff. But so I was always like, felt like an imposter. Like, why am I in this group? I'm so lucky. But anyway, that helped me get seen a lot. So I was like, fundraiser. That's how I get all of these people seen. And it's working. So, and then Earth Day was coming up, and I'm like, boom, that is my cause. Like, you know, people have their causes, and honestly, my biggest one is the planet. So it worked perfectly. But anyway, y'all are getting seen, and it makes me so happy. Anyway, oh, I'll do mine.
Oh yeah, show yours, yes.
So mine, as I said, I'm an environmental nut, and so mine is Biodiversity Matters. And the color scheme I based around this beautiful Cosmo variegated floss. They call their variegated seasons. And I just was like, what do I do for what can I do in that color? And I want it to be something that some people think are yucky, like, like a bug.
Yeah.
Like, hey, let this bug live because biodiversity is very important. So I didn't choose a cute thing. But Urban Stitches, who does blackwork designs that'll blow your mind, she said, oh, rosemary beetles. And I was all over that. And I looked into them, and apparently they're very invasive and the plague of gardeners throughout Europe and the, British Isles. So I ended up stitching an invasive species, but, they've got
It's
family to
so
love
cool
them
though.
too. But yeah, so I realized it's like spotted cucumber beetles here, which are my plague as a gardener here in Texas. I think all over the US. They are awful. They are awful. They look like
Mhm.
ladybugs, but they're more orange, and they're total buttheads. I've got to literally inject organic pest control, like get a syringe and inject it into squash. So anyway, I ended up stitching a invasive species, but it's a bug. A lot of people hate bugs, and let me tell you, biodiversity matters. And that's my dude, eating someone's rosemary.
That's so cool. I love your Cosmo color palette for
But yeah,
that.
totally based around that. I was like,
So
I'm gonna.
I think you posted today, you like reposted somebody else had like all the colors like laying out together. And it's gorgeous. Like I'm like, I need to run and get those Cosmo flosses so I can stitch yours. It's
And
so
that's
pretty.
something that I even said it in the Discord. I was like, even if I don't like how it turns out, which I didn't know if anyone was even going to like it. And I flew it. It's a very popular design of mine.
Mhm.
But I was like, even if it doesn't look good, my palette is totally lit. It's like a pat on the back. I came up with a gorgeous palette of Cosmo, and it was a success story. So anyway, yes. So both of our gorgeous, if I do say myself as well, include, we know Allie's is, you can get those along with 29 more designs that are amazing
Mhm.
for a minimum of $10 US, which, dude, it's a
It's
steal. I keep
incredible.
saying dude,
Mhm.
but it's like 20 something cents a design. Whereas, like I'd sell mine for $6 at retail.
Mhm. That's
Like,
what I would do for mine too. Yep.
yeah. So it's crazy. And if you can donate more, do donate more, because it's for the environment, and B, just if you can, because you're getting a steal. But if you want to pay more to help specifically, my goal when starting this is I wanted a charity that fought climate change, because that's really what my main cause is. But anyway, we have 4 charities you can choose from, and you'll just do that. So our website, so there's an Instagram, you click to the website. We don't have a website yet. We have a domain, so it links to a page on my website. The stitcherscollective.com will take you to our page. And I'm sorry, I don't remember what all you said, but the Google form. I don't know if you talked about the Google
Mhm.
form,
No, I
but
don't
then
think I
you
talked about that.
go into a Google form, which is saving Christy and I, because we're alternating days every day. One of us is going through receipts and sending your patterns every night, because we both work full time. And the Google form, I know we've had some complaints about the fact that it's newfangled technology, but honestly, we would be spending so much more time if we didn't have
Mhm.
that. So please forgive us.
And that is it. One thing too, if you don't get your pattern right away, don't panic. It's coming. Like there's
We've
two
had
people working on it.
some
Yeah,
panic messages, and I'm
it's
like,
coming. Be patient. It's worth the wait.
yeah. So you might buy it at 9 a.m. and you'll get it at 9 p.m., but I promise. And if you don't see it, then email us. Or thing is, if you don't see it within 48 hours, email us or message us. So anyway, yeah, there's been some panic emails, and anyway, I've just been like, please be patient with us. Christy and I have pretty demanding jobs, but we're here, we're doing it. So moving on, I would love to hear about, and I want to see all of your designs that you have, but before that, what about notions? Do you have any favorite notions you'd like to share?
I do, and most of my notions with my cross stitching, like my budget's pretty small, so I make most of my motions, kind of my notions, I think I said motions, out of stuff I have at home. Like I was a quilter before I started cross stitching for over 20 years now, so I have quite the fabric stash. And right now, since I have two young kids, I don't really quilt that much anymore. So it's just sitting there. So it's like it's just taking up space, sitting there. It's not doesn't have a purpose. So I'm like, I will use that to make my notions. So I make my own project bags. My mom's
Well, and those are
made
fun to
some of my
make.
project bags. So here's my project bags. I love these. My mom's made me a couple too, but I've made most of mine.
Oh, I love that fabric though too.
And I
Oh,
think
is
this is
that
like
is
a Heather
that
Ross, Heather Ross fabric.
okay?
And this
Are
one I
those
think is art
garden
count.
gnome? Are those garden gnome outfits on the clothesline?
Yeah, they are. I think it's supposed to be like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Okay,
I think that
I was
because I
like
think
gnome long underwear.
there's like Snow White down here like sleeping.
Oh, I love that fabric. And who did you say it makes it?
This is Heather Ross. And I think it's a line that came out a few years ago, so it's really hard to find. That's the tough thing with fabrics is like the lines will come out and like if you don't buy it when it comes out, it's gone. Like
Yep.
you can't find it. You might be able to find it on like eBay or Etsy, but it's going to be at a premium. So it's
I
hard.
love that fabric. In fact, my goal 2 years ago was like, this year I'm going to become a quilter. I'm going to take quilting classes. And then I started designing and I have no time. So I'm like, I'm not going to be a quilter
It's
anytime
hard. And
soon.
quilting takes up a lot of time.
It
That's why I
does.
don't quilt very much anymore because I don't have like hours to sit in front of my sewing machine. It's like cross stitching is easy. I can pick it up, put in like 15, 20 stitches. And if my kids need something, I can go do something.
Yeah.
It's a bit easier.
Oh, and I thought it was so funny that Modcross, she was saying that she had a potty training whip
Yes.
and she just, well, like her, was it daughter was
I think daughter, yeah.
sitting on the potty, she would she'd go stitch or sit with her and stitch. So she
Stitch, yeah.
legit had a potty training whip and I was like, oh, so smart.
That's such a good idea. Because my son will have to start potty training him pretty soon. And it's one of those things where you're like, as a parent, it's like, okay, we got to do it. I know we need to do it, but like, ugh,
I dreaded it. I dreaded it
so
for
hard.
years. And then mine still won't. She's 3.5 and she's
It's
incredibly
hard.
stubborn. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, my least favorite part so far. And anywho, did you have any other notions you want to share?
I do. There's one other thing that I make that I have in like all my project bags. It's this little needle book. I try to make it out of coordinating fabric.
Yeah.
And then like the inside, just like a needle book. You can store your needles. You can put your floss on here. And then I usually have like a pair of scissors in the
Oh,
back. I was gonna like make these and sell these at one point, but I think for me, like just trying to do like think of like postage and mailing, like even like because I want my whole goal with my cross stitching is I want it to be accessible. Like that's why usually I design with DMC because in a lot of my fabrics, especially the ones designs I put in the magazines, it's just fabric. You could, if you wanted to, you could go to Joann or you could go to Michael's or your local craft store and kit up if you don't have an LNS, or you could order the things online if you wanted to. I really want it to be accessible. So with me, like the whole like trying to figure out shipping and oh, I can only ship to people in the US. I can't ship to like worldwide because it's too expensive and that's hard. I think that's one thing that kind of holds me back from like getting into like print charts and all of that
yeah.
stuff. It's just for me, it's intimidating, like trying to figure all that out. And
I'm glad I did all of that, like figuring out getting into print and making a website before I went back to work. Because I mentally would not be able to do it at this point in my life. Like I just would not have the time. So I'm really thankful I did that. I didn't know I was going to go back to work so soon. I thought it was going to be like another couple of years. So anyway, it's time consuming.
For me, like with two little kids, I just don't have the mental capacity to figure all that out right now.
Well, yeah, and I was lucky that I only had one to wrangle while I did that. So it still wasn't easy, but
yeah,
still wasn't easy, but worth it.
Maybe someday.
So, oh yeah, before you show, I just don't want to forget to do this at the end. Before you show your patterns, where are they available?
I have an Etsy shop. All my patterns are available on Etsy. They're as downloadable PDFs, and my Etsy shop's Cozy Cabin Stitching, same name.
Okay. And oh, social media presence. I know you're on Instagram. Anywhere else? I just
Nope,
want
just on
people to be able to find you.
Yep, just Instagram right now. That's Instagram, and then my YouTube channel, which is Cozy Cabin Stitching.
And I've watched you. You're very
Thank you.
engaging, and I like what you stitch.
Thank you.
Yeah. But anyway, let's see your stuff.
All
I
right,
want to see
sounds
your,
good.
I'm so excited to see them in person.
I think
Sort of
the
in
first one
person.
I will show you is the one that's in the. Do you want to do this one first? The one that's in the Just
Yes,
CrossStitch,
yes.
the June issue. So this
No,
one's in the June issue of Just CrossStitch magazine, which I have a bit of a glare. Sorry.
Oh, even the one on the front, I'm always like drool.
I
The one on the
know.
front of that one, yeah.
I like that. And here's my
Oh yeah.
design. My Dance in the Moonlight, and it's a Luna moth with some fireflies dancing around.
Oh, I love that one so much. So what was your inspiration for that? Did you have a specific inspiration or?
I did. A lot of my inspiration comes from my kids. And so this one, my daughter had gotten a Ranger Rick magazine. She likes her magazine.
Oh, they still have that? Oh,
yeah. And it
I
had this
remember that.
beautiful picture of a Luna moth on the back of it. And she just became like, when she becomes like so interested in something, we kind of go down the rabbit hole. We're watching YouTube videos, we're checking books out from our library about it, and we're learning about it. And she told me, she says, Mom, you have to design a cross stitch with a Luna moth. And so I was like, okay, I will.
That's so cute. She told you.
She does. She tells me what to design a lot. You need to design this.
Dang, look what came out of it.
Yeah. So that was I was like, okay, I have to have a Luna moth, and then I kind of just went from there.
I love it. I love that design. And I love that you
really
did it on, what is that, navy? I love navy.
Yeah, it's just 14 count navy Ada. Like I said, you could probably buy it at Joann or Michael's. I think I got it at Joann.
Yeah. Oh,
all in DMC.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
That was a really fun one to design. And then some of my other designs, let me see. I have like a pile of stuff.
That's what I was hoping for. Yes.
One of my other recent releases was this one.
I love this too.
And this one, at first I had designed the border, and I was gonna put kind of a snarky quote in here. And then I was just having like a really bad like few weeks. Things were going on. My son was having some health issues. And so I was like, I took my daughter to school one day. It was like a freezing cold day, so cold. And I kept telling my son, like, let's stand in the sun. Let's stand in the sun. It's warmer in the sun. And so this quote kind of just came to my head. And it says, turn your face towards the sun and you will find warmth on the coldest day.
That is one I want to stitch that one. It's just very special, and it's more special with your story. I think I heard it on your FlossTube, and that just made it even more special. And that I know, have you noticed, like, you love designs the more you get to know people and become friends with them, like even their work, you love it more.
And you know, the story behind the designs, it just makes it so much more meaningful. I love that. Yeah.
And I hadn't noticed the little snowflakes until
they're kind of hard to, they don't show up on camera very well. But
oh, and then berries, are those berries?
Yep, I try to make it kind of like a juniper bush where you have like the little like blue like
it
juniper
does.
berries.
It looks, yeah, it does. I love it. I love it.
That was my inspiration for that one. Let me see. Here's a Christmas one that I put out with around Christmas time, my little Christmas penguins.
Oh my gosh, my daughter is obsessed with penguins right now. Like everything's penguins.
Well, I think there might be more penguins to come.
I hope so.
I've been having fun designing with penguins. I'm like, we need to do penguins like all year round. So I need to design designs for all year round with penguins.
Oh yeah, we specifically watched Happy Feet just because I'd never seen it. And then I was like, the beginning is all very boom, chicka, boom, boom, because the penguins are getting ready to have the kids. You've seen it? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it.
That was totally over her head, so we're good.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, so now she's like, I want to watch Happy Feet. Solely because it's penguins. Yeah.
Penguins are cool.
They are.
Let me see if I can. This is actually one of my most popular selling patterns, which kind of, for me, kind of like, I love like this one.
Oh yeah.
Little Seagulls in Love. But it comes as a trio. So you get these two come with it. And this is kind of a series that I put out, which is like 3 little like patterns to stitch.
They're so cute. And the colors, very summery.
Mm-hmm.
Those are fun.
This is I think this is one of my favorite ones. I could just do this one. And so I have like a whole series of these little pillows. I have some for spring. Oops, I can not drop them all over here. So these are my spring ones. Tulips and robin, and then a little May basket.
Oh, ooh, that's pretty. Oh, can
That
I see the borders up close?
Yep, the border is just like a gingham border.
But stitched, right?
Yep.
Oh,
Stitched.
so pretty. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then I have my Halloween pillow trio.
Oh, so cute. Boo. Oh, and cats.
My daughter also, she loves cats, so she always tells me to design cats. Mommy, you need to design more cats.
Oh, I love the different oranges you used in the pumpkin too. I love these squat. He's a squishy penguin.
That was what's kind of fun about these. They're all the same size. So for me, I like the challenge of, okay, you have this area, design something like that. For me, that's kind of fun having those little challenges.
Yes, anything that's a challenge, just like having your daughter tell you or doing something. I've grown a lot because of challenges.
Even like the prompts for like the magazines, and they shouldn't send it when I send out their prompts. It's like, okay, I got to figure out something to go with this, which is kind of, it's fun.
Realize you might have never gone in that direction to make something, and then you're so happy you did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let me see what else I have. This is one that I designed. It's a set of 3. It's keep it spooky. Nice. And I had painted the hoops orange for these.
It looks good.
And then I have my Let's Get Witchy.
And
my Haunt On. I call it my Rockin' Halloween series. I like a good pun or a play on words.
Me too, and I haven't done one in a while. Oh, I guess I do. I do for X Stitch the Rainbow. But anyway, yes, I have designs that aren't out right now. They're old. That are puns. So I love to find another connection that we're punsters.
Yes.
I like it.
Here's another one of my puns. No bunny compares to you. This one. This is one of my earlier designs that I first.
It's really sweet. And that works for spring and Valentine's.
Mm-hmm.
And all year, but especially those.
And I have Happy Haunting.
Mm. Oh, I love the ghost at the door and the little moon with the bats. And I like that the chimney is kind of like a stovepipe. That
I tried to make it kind of like it wasn't a perfect little house. It was kind of like falling over a little. And then this one's not out yet, but this one I had won the Just CrossStitch ornament design contest for last year. So this is one of the very, very first things I designed.
Oh,
Mary Moose Smith. So this one I'll probably release before Christmas this year.
Yeah, so I like that. I just lost the plot, or trying to think of what, but he's decked out. I like that the reindeer is totally decked out, like he's going to
he's wearing his
party.
His lederhosen.
His lederhosen, yeah. He's cute. He's very cute. Aw.
So that's just a few of my designs that I have around.
Well, your stuff is so good.
Thank you.
I really want, I really hope you know, like the Stitchers Collective and all that really helps you get seen, because I think you're an exceptional designer and I love your stuff. And so anyway,
thank you.
You should be famous. You should be CrossStitch famous.
I know. I told my husband, I'm like, I'm in a national magazine now. Like,
You're what?
I told my husband, like, I'm in a national magazine now. Like, your wife's in a magazine.
I know. Did you like go find it see it at Walmart or Joann and be like at Barnes and Noble and be like, that's me? Because that's what I
Not yet.
didn't tell people when I was in Just CrossStitch. I didn't tell people at the stores, but I wanted to. You know, like checking out, buying something at Joann, be like, I'm in this magazine.
This is me.
I might have actually did that to a checker. I can't remember, and then probably walked out ashamed. But yeah, like to be in something that's at a box store is just kind of rad.
hmm
Were you in the last Christmas one, or
The December issue.
okay?
Yeah.
Because I was in the ornament issue.
hmm
So you were in the
I was
December issue.
December issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was like, we could have been in the same one. But anyway, yeah. Well, that's cool. Oh, does the reindeer one have a funny name, or what's the name?
Mary
The cute
Moose.
Mary Moose. Oh yeah, it's a moose. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cute. So I'm trying to think of what else. I don't want to end this and have missed something. Anything else you want to share?
Not that I can think of. For me, like, it's been so great with, like, thank you so much for starting the Stitchers Collective and everything. It's been amazing to be able to connect with other people, because that's part of the reason why I started like a FlossTube this year, is because I wanted to be like more connected with the community. Because I know I live in a bigger city, but I don't know many Stitchers that are local, and I'm sure they're out there, but like with two kids, it's like I can't just go leave
Yeah.
for a couple hours to go stitch with a friend,
Well,
unfortunately.
when they're a little older, you might be able to. So this was my year. I was like, I'm gonna go to conventions and retreats. And part of it too is as a designer, I was like, I should. And so I'm gonna go to StitchCon weekend B
That will be
and
fun.
meet so many people and have so much fun. In fact, I did a free design for it too. I just finished that and got it in because I guess they do a book of designs for free. So I contributed to that. And then I'm gonna go to Stitch West in October, which is very special because it's in Salt Lake City and I'm originally from Salt Lake, or from a suburb. So I went to college in Salt Lake. It's a very small city, but it's a beautiful city. There's the mountains, there's the snow, the downtown's charming. Anyway, I'm excited. And my mom and I are gonna go. And my mom's the one that taught me to cross stitch when I was 6 or 7. So we're gonna go together and it's gonna be really special. And I have a lot of good friends there that I'm not gonna have time to see, which is a bummer. But you know, the only time at night is I'm gonna see my brother and his wife and kids, because you know, priorities. But it's gonna be really special and I'm excited. Oh, Satsuma Street is the
Oh,
guest designer. Little
that's
Stitch Girl's there because she's local and she's,
mm-hmm.
I don't want to say she's a guest designer because she's always there, but so Little Stitch Girl, and then the designer they get from out, you know, new, whatever, is Satsuma Street. I'm very excited about that. Anyway, so when you can, I highly recommend going to those because it's got to be a good way to promote. Plus, it's gonna be a blast.
And I told my husband about StitchCon at one time. He's like, you know, you could go do something like that. Me and the kids, we could come to, and it could be like a vacation. I'm like, okay, you do realize if I go to something like that, it's going to be 3 days of me not being with you guys, being in a room
Right.
stitching. Somebody's like, oh, that's how it's going to be. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'm not going to
You don't
hang out
want to
with
do
you
this.
guys and the kids. I'm going to be like doing my own thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that Romy's creations, because she's from Italy. Like this last time for Nashville, like her husband and their daughter came too.
That's
And they
cool.
like totally lived it up and then went to New York and lived it up. And I thought that was really cute. I don't know what they did during the day. I think her daughter might have helped her, but anyway, it was cute. But yeah, I mean, I can't see that happening, especially in Cincinnati. I know nothing about Cincinnati. I don't know what my husband and daughter would go do there. So um, anyway. Well, my husband just got home and he sometimes comes in the house and he's on the phone and he's really loud. So I guess now is a good time to hang out. So I'm going to stop recording, but just everyone, thanks for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
It's funny, like I wanted people to, I think the biggest fans of this are other designers, and that's
Which
cool.
I love. I love watching your videos with your interviews with designers.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, I've watched all your videos. I
Oh,
love your videos.
that's so
Sometimes I'm
cool.
bad at commenting though, because I'll be stitching while I'm watching a video and I'll watch it on my TV. I watch it like on my iPad or my phone. I'm like, okay, I have to remember to go back and comment on their video. And then I completely forget. If I don't do anything in the moment, I completely forget to go
I
back. And
try to just to go
I'm
in,
so
even if I
bad.
don't watch it. If any of my designer friends, I'm like, I gotta like that, even if I don't comment. And I get excited when
Hmm.
people comment, so I'm always like, try to comment,
Hmm.
just support. But anyway, it's so much fun. So, oh, any upcoming releases besides the April issue? Or do you have any new releases coming out in the next couple months? Anything you're working on?
There's a couple things I have a stack of like kitted stuff that I need to stitch so I can release it. But I'm so slow at stitching sometimes, or like something else will come up, like the Earth Day pattern came up. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put this on the side and I'm gonna stitch this and design this. And I know there's I have a couple more things coming out and just cross stitch later on this year. So stay tuned for those.
Yes,
And then
definitely.
I'm hoping to have a release. I'm hoping by the beginning of June I'll have a new like summer pattern release. I'm
Nice.
working stitching it right now. Maybe before that we'll see. Things I feel like with things get so busy in the summertime because then my
Mhm.
kids are out of school and we have vacations and all kinds of stuff going. But hopefully I'll have those out soon. But nothing I can show you right now,
Oh,
unfortunately.
that's fine. But I just like to know that we keep looking out, keep an eye out for the goodies coming out that we can stitch. So anyway, thank you everyone for joining us. Cozy Cabin, Allie from Cozy Cabin Stitching.
Yes, thank you.
Wait. Oh, hold on. I think he brought food. I think he got
Oh,
barbecue. I
ooh.
think he was holding a cup of brisket. So I have brisket awaiting me. And I can't leave that. So anyway, thank you for joining me. And Allie, I guess we're not going to talk after because I got to go eat brisket.
Yeah, go enjoy your brisket. Go.
Okay, see everyone. Bye.
Bye.